Hey everybody, back again. This one's pretty damn interesting here. Uh, this is a video about mouth breathers and their inability to understand, logic. Uh, for starters, JJJSSS 3869. I made a comment about the welder lead wires being OSHA, approved even for home use. And he's like, OSHA for home? Funny. Well, here's the thing. Yes, there are two things here. OSHA put out a thing. It's CPL 2-0.125 home-based work sites. This was put out in the year 2000. In the year 2000, they decided that OSHA doesn't just do, work sites like, at Dairy Queen, construction sites. They don't just do business sites. They also deal with homes. Any job that is done at a home where a person needs a work permit, a licensed contractor, anything that requires any kind of documentation or a license for, OSHA has their thumb on it. OSHA can show up at your house if you're having your bathroom remodeled, if you're having your kitchen remodeled, if you're having somebody tear down a wall that's a retaining wall or whatever and putting up a pillar, OSHA can show up to your home, and that you have to let them in to verify that the people doing the work are doing it in a safe manner. When it comes to electronics, electrical equipment, power tools, anything that uses an extension cord, OSHA has a say in it. If I go up on my roof and I tack weld together some steel to reinforce the HVAC unit on the roof, then OSHA, if I'm getting paid to do it, it's a contracted thing to do. If I do it and OSHA shows up, OSHA can tell me, stop doing your work, get down here, you're getting inspected. I can't tell them to fuck off. I can't tell them no. They control it. They check over all my equipment. They look at everything. When I was doing solar installations, I'd go out, I'd do the work. OSHA has a say in it. If I got called up to do a panel cleaning job, OSHA has a foot in it because I am working at that home. I am under contract to go to that home and do the work. If my power washer, if the power cable on the power washer was spliced improperly, I'd get a huge fine. My company would get a huge fine. That's how OSHA works. There is an actual set of laws that are just for home-based operations. And not just like home-based operations like you run the business out of your home. That is a whole other can of worms. The home-based work is if you are working from a house, like somebody calls you up and says, I need my driveway redone. OSHA has a say in it. If that person that's doing the work is not doing it in a safe manner, OSHA will shut them down. OSHA will shut them down completely. They'll pull the permits, they'll cancel everything, and then you have to find somebody else to do the work. Now, this is a whole thing. This is a huge thing. Like, these people don't understand what's happening. They think OSHA, that's nothing for homes. Yeah, It wouldn't be something for homes if I wasn't doing business. Then like if it was just stuff. It was just stuff. OSHA would never have a say in it. But if I do something to make money off of it, OSHA puts their foot in it. That's how this works. And this whole deal goes to another ordeal that I'm dealing with, and that's people that don't, like, okay, you saw a video and you think you're right. Now, there's this whole thing. ATV crashes into police cruiser after cop intentionally blocks path. Yes, that's a horrible thing. Here's the problem. Even TMZ, even these motherfuckers didn't do the research. Many people didn't even do research. They see the clip of the cop pulling in front and stopping and the ATV driver running into the vehicle. They cut out I think it was like 2-minute drive beforehand. This is a walking and biking path in a park. No vehicles are supposed to be there. The one part of the path goes one way, the other part goes the other way, and you have people crossing paths. This guy was literally on an illegal quad driving through the park at like 60 miles an hour. Right before this crash, the officer passes a group of people with kids in strollers and on little kid bikes. This guy wasn't going to stop. He was just going to plow into them. So, more people that are mouth breathers that don't know what's going on. Oh, it's the cop's fault. The cop's a criminal. The cop should be charged with attempted murder. Okay, what about this guy on the quad who literally almost ran people down multiple times? Police were called. They tried to stop him. He drove up a hill and around and went around a different part of the park, drove down an embankment, took out bushes to try and get away from the cops that first tried to stop him. And then finally, when they did stop him, it was because this officer got between him and a group of kids. But, you know, JJJ, SSS, he would be like, no, the cop's a bad guy because, you know, cops are bad. Not all cops. This cop saved a bunch of kids. This guy's a freaking lunatic. Masked up, riding around, almost killing children. And people are like, well, the cops are bad. Like, all of these freaking comments, you know. It's like, yeah, they could just keep posting and posting and posting. Like I've seen this like freaking 60 times. And they're like, oh, you know, this is racism. And it's like, no, shut the fuck up. Cop stops somebody from killing children, and you're like, oh, the cop's the bad guy. Yeah, this is a fucking bike path and a walking path. No motorized vehicles. They're in the middle of a damn park. And again, this whole video is just mouth breathers that don't know what the fuck they're talking about. JJJSSS here doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. The people on that video don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And it's like, my mind is blown at the stupidity of the people around me. It's just one single Google search for OSHA home repairs, and you get the OSHA directive CPL 2-0.125. And it's right there. There's an actual. Let's see if I can find it real quick. Yeah. There's an actual PDF. It's an actual PDF. OSHA instructions. Let's see. This instruction provides guidance to OSHA's compliance personnel about inspection policies and procedures concerning work sites at a home. This instruction supersedes all previous statements and guidance on the subject. Scope is OSHA-wide. Subject, home-based work sites. February 25th, 2000. By and under the authority of Charles N. Jeffries, Assistant Secretary. Contact William J. Smith or Helen Rogers, Directorate of Compliance Programs in the Francis Perkins Building, Washington, D.C. Yeah, OSHA instructions, U.S. Department of Labor, Occupational Safety and Health Administration. That is the law. That is, they have the last say in it. If you are working at a home, then OSHA has control. It's not just, when you're working at McDonald's or you're working at, the local grocery store. It doesn't matter where you're working. If you are working and it is a contracted job, they have their foot in it. If you are licensed, they can have control over it. That just it blows my mind that all these mouth breathers can do is, you're wrong about that. Dude, I have the actual OSHA documents. OSHA documents from the federal government sent out by people in Washington, D.C. You think I'm just saying this shit because I want to say it? You think that he doesn't know what he's talking about. He's just saying that. He's just using big words. No. The OSHA standard for a splice, any splice in construction equipment, extension cords, power cords, cords of any kind that transmit power, your protective sheathing must be at minimum the same thickness as the original sheathing. If your sheathing is 1 mil thick and you splice it and you put something on there that is 1/4 mil thick, you are not able to use that equipment per OSHA standards. It is not safe. It is a violation. And last I checked, in the OSHA guidelines, it is a $1,500 fine. $1,500 for using an improperly spliced piece of equipment. Doesn't matter if it's a saw. Doesn't matter if it's a shop light. It doesn't matter if it's a paint mixer. If that splice is improperly done, it is a huge ass fine. I'm not going to take that risk. That's why I did a full, I think it was 1.5 mil of sheathing, shrink tube, waterproof. I mean, the splice only requires a 1/2 inch of overlap. I did 3.5 inches of overlap, multiple layers, and each layer was made with a waterproof marine grade shrink tubing. That way, I know for a fact that I could stand on that, I can walk on it, I can kick it around, I can drag it around, and that is not going to cut or dig or gouge out. It is safer that way. It's safer for me, it's safer for the people I'm around, it's safer for the job site, period. Now, some people won't care. They'll just, wrap some tape around it and call it good. No. I want to make sure that it is fan-fucking-tastic. I took that stuff out. I took the cables out, put all the ends on, got everything changed out, and I did a whole bunch more welding with it. Worked fantastic. I didn't have to deal with anything. To, anything really. There's no overheating, no arcing, no issues. It was just working perfectly. And why? Because I've installed solar. I was working with, equipment that's pumping out 30,000 watts of electricity at 100 amps. I was working with 200 amp services. I was with my generator engineering degree and my welding degrees and all these other degrees that I have dealing with electricity. It is something that I take seriously. I mean, I've been struck by lightning. I know how fucking bad it hurts. I know how bad it hurts. I know the feeling of your heart stopping. I know the feeling. I respect it, like insane amount of respect for it. Electricity is nothing to play with. If you're going to be, splicing wires, running wires, doing all this stuff, you have to have like an insane amount of respect for it. Otherwise, you're gonna roast yourself. You're gonna roast somebody else. You're going to hurt somebody if you do not do it as it is supposed to be done. Yeah, OSHA sucks because it's the government telling you how to do stuff. But, hello, if you do it wrong, you die. What would you rather have? Taking the extra 2-3 minutes to do something, or never breathing again? What say you? What say you? Take a little extra time or die. Those are your two options. I'll take the extra time. I'll make sure every time it's done right. I will cut out a 4-inch section of wire and re-splice it 10 goddamn times before I do it wrong and just say, yeah, it's good enough. No, it's going to be done right or not at all. That's it. So, that's it for now. This motherfucker can kiss my ass. All these other fuckers online, go fuck a cactus for all I care. But seriously, do some goddamn research.